Welcome to the Dojo. Today we'll draw Miles Morales from Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Grab a pencil and follow along. I'll guide you step by step. First thing first, we're gonna draw a cross. That will help us to draw a better circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course. At the end of the day, it's just a guideline. In fact, mine is pretty messy, as you can see. I didn't even use the right grip to do it, but it's gonna be right for now. So now we're gonna extend a line from the bottom of the circle that will indicate the end of the face. Notice that this line is a little shorter than this one. Here I'm gonna draw another guideline that will help us to draw better the face. The more guidelines we put in this step, the better, usually, because we have more reference points to draw the face proportions better. So here I'm drawing another line halfway, a little bit less, in order to draw the jawline. So now it's the time to be pretty symmetrical because we are drawing the front view of Miles Morales. And now we're drawing the traps. So now that we have the base of the drawing for the head, we're gonna draw the eyes. So now that we have drawn the first eye, we're gonna draw the other one, and to do so, we're gonna extend some guideline that will help us to draw the other eye with the right proportions. By the way, this is the rough sketch part, so don't worry if the lines are too messy, because we are going to clean everything later. And I don't know if you know this eraser, but it's pretty useful. I would suggest you to buy it, but if you don't want to buy it, I have another trick to get the same result, and I will show you later. Back to the drawing. Now we have something, right? And we can start to draw the hood of the sweatshirt. And now that we are drawing the hood, we can be more free. We don't have to pressure ourselves too much, because we have done the most tricky part, and that is drawing the face proportions. And remember, if you know how to draw, it doesn't mean that you can't make mistake. Mistakes are part of the process, so don't worry too much about it. Okay, it's just a reminder that most of the time we forget. At the end of the day, we have the eraser, right? And by the way, I was thinking that I hope the hood is the right word to describe what he's wearing, but I don't know because I'm not a native English speaker, so let me know in the comments if I'm correct. I like to be pretty sketchy and rough at the beginning, because if you do so, you're gonna feel less pressure on yourself. Instead of drawing really careful, drawing every line perfectly, I don't like it. I don't like it, so I prefer to make a lot of mistakes, make some mistakes in the beginning stage, and then correct it later. You are almost 8 minutes into the video, and I really encourage you to trust the process because this is the first stage. And at the beginning, when I started to draw, I always wanted to have fast results. But really, if you trust the process and if you have patience, you're gonna see this drawing comes to life. So now it's time to draw the spider symbol. First, we're gonna establish the height of the symbol. Then we're gonna start to draw an oval to indicate the outer line. Then we're gonna draw a cross that will help us to have more reference points. And then another oval inside the first oval. And now we're gonna draw a line between the center of the oval and the bottom of the oval, halfway. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the top side. So now we can draw more easily. We're gonna soften a little bit more the guidelines, because otherwise it would be too messy. And we'll start drawing this spider. You know, I was asking to myself, why spiders have so many legs? But yeah, if they had like 4 legs, it would be really easy to draw them. But no, 1700 legs. Oh my god. Okay, no problem. We're gonna draw all of these legs. Let's do it. So now let's erase some of these guidelines to have a clearer vision of what we have drawn. Yeah, we can use this eraser, this little eraser, or we can use a kneaded eraser, I don't know how you call it, or a normal eraser. It's a little bit bigger and it's not so comfortable, but if you have only this, it's fine. Now let's move on to the face again, because we have to draw the patterns of the mask. Let's finish to draw the hood so that it wraps around the head. You can achieve the same effect with this tombow mono eraser just by taking your normal eraser and take a scissor and cut the tip, like so. I'm gonna show you how you can do it, and that's it. That works just fine. Try it. Remember to be very gentle, very light when you draw the guidelines, because we're gonna have to erase them, so it's better to go lighter. Now let's keep working, starting from this half circle and continuing with the mask patterns. It's pretty straightforward. Just follow along. Keep in mind that sometimes I forget to move the camera, and I'm sorry for this because I'm also learning how to film these videos, and this is a mistake that I've done in this video. Sorry for that, but don't worry too much about it because as you can see, I've already moved the camera, and you can see what I've drawn before. You can stop the video and start from where you left off. Just a quick note, now I'm extending these lines that form the mask patterns, and sometimes you will not know where these lines are gonna go because we have the spider symbol on top of them, so it's pretty difficult to know where exactly are. So the tip here is to extend the lines like the spider symbol it wasn't there, and then erase them, and also to imagine where they are going. Once we finish the vertical lines, we're gonna draw the horizontal lines that are not actually so horizontal. They are more curved than horizontal, but yeah, you got it. So now I erase some of the guidelines because we don't need them anymore. Remember also, whenever you use the eraser, most of the time you will erase some of the good lines that we need for the final drawing, so the contour lines. So a good practice I've implemented in my drawing routine is every time I erase something, I draw over the good lines, pressing a little bit more with a pencil in order to really define the contour line. This way I have continuously a clearer vision of the drawing. So this time I'm gonna close this drawing like this, with these lines. Like if the character doesn't have legs or arms, it's a little design trick because I don't have enough space to draw the arms and the legs. I think it's a good choice for this time, for this drawing. And yeah, if another time you want a full figure, I will be more than happy to draw it. And now we reached the fun part, the shading part. I usually start from the head because I like to work top to bottom, but you can start wherever you want. So when we start with the shading part, remember to be very loose with a pencil, don't press too much because then we're going to use the blending stamp to smooth everything out. Here I'm shading the sweatshirt and then we're going to shade the mask. Here's the magical tool, the blending stamp. You should press pretty hard so the graphite will spread evenly on the paper. You can also use the paper towel, but after a while it will hurt a little bit. So I prefer to use the blending stamp. And we use the blending stamp just because we want to eliminate the white of the paper. That's their main reason, but it's also a stylistic choice. If you like the effect, you can use it. If you don't like it, just don't use it. Now that we have laid down a base, we can keep shading, increasing the darkness of some spots and making other spots lighter. Perfect. Now we are going to work the other side. So press a little more in the corner up there. After you will press a little bit less and gradually even less. With the stamp, do the same thing that you have done with the pencil. So press a little bit more on the darkest area and do the opposite with the lightest ones. Now that we have done the base of the sweatshirt, we're going to shade also the mask. And to do so, we're going to use another pencil, a 9B pencil, because it's really dark, but you can use whatever pencil you have. Here I'm just going to fill all of the holes of the mask. Take your time because it will take a lot of time, and you don't need to follow exactly what I'm doing because I'm just pressing a lot because there's no shading. It's really simple, it's just time consuming. So maybe stop the video and fill all of the holes and then restart the video again from the moment you left off. And be careful to not cover all of these mask patterns lines that we have created before, because otherwise it will be a mess. You wouldn't be able to recognize the mask. It will merge everything into one mess and it will be really difficult. So here I'm showing you how to fill the gap, all of the holes. You can do it like this, very carefully. As you can see, I'm leaving some white space between every hole, every part. This is the way to recognize better every single part, and you will notice that after you finished. So as I said before, it's pretty simple, so I don't need to show you exactly every single rectangle. For this reason, I'm gonna do a cut here, and I'm gonna do it with this magic trick. 3, 2, 1. Here we go, we have finished the mask. Actually, we haven't finished yet because we have to shade a little bit of the eyes, the contour of the eyes. And finally, we have to do the second and last pass of shading. We have done it before, so we know where the darkest areas are, so we're just gonna need to pass over these areas to increase a little bit of the darkness, and that's it. And lastly, what we can do right now is to use an eraser like this to lift a little bit of the graphite that we have on the paper in order to create some lighter areas and increase the contrast of the drawing. Nice work, that's Miles Morales. If you like this lesson, drop a comment and keep training. I'll see you in the next session. Bye!